Hello everyone, I'm back again after a few days of delays. After the patch, well, I was kind of waiting for the patch to see if there are any significant changes and see whether or not there's something that needs to be made that is going to help people with immediate changes in the patch. And sure enough, there was a huge change actually, which was never mentioned in the patch at all. Uh, the XP gain from Crucible was nerfed. Uh, a lot of us were using the Crucible in order to run our new characters and level them up quickly so we can try different things, try new builds without having to respec every time. And now that option is gone, I thought it would be helpful to post a guide on how to level up quickly without having to rely on the Crucible much, and this is going to be helpful, I hope, for uh, new players also, in a way, if they want to start a new character if they're not happy with what they have. Um, okay, without further ado, let's get to it quickly. It's quite simple. Throughout your travels on the Isle of Sakura, I am pretty sure you are going to come up across a set of armor that doesn't have any level requirements, or it's a level 1 requirement. For example, here you can see this is a level 12 wood, and this is level 16, level 12, level 12, but the level requirement for it is only a level 1. That means you can start a character right now and throw this entire armor set on them, and they are not going to, and they're going to be able to wear it. Whereas if you were to choose an armor set that has a level requirement, you're not going to be able to. Uh, the other important thing about what you need to pick is that I would recommend always to have a set of cloth for your leveling up process because it's the lightest and it's not going to push you past your normal weight limit if you are not going to be spending any points in your equipment loan. As you can see, I haven't spent any points in my equipment loan. I've only spent my points on stamina and on vitality and on the weapon requirements. Now, the other thing that's very important about the set that you're going to pick is that you're going to have to slot it with diamonds, and that's going to give you extra experience gain. So if you look here, I have 10% from my headpiece, 10% from my chest piece, 8% from my pants, and another 10% from my gloves. Add it all together, and if I were to exalt this to, I just didn't want to exalt it for another 2%, you can get up to 40% extra XP just from the set that you're wearing. You could put another diamond on the weapon that you're using, but I wouldn't suggest that. For the purposes of leveling up, and this is a weapon that I use on my used to use on my main character, and currently it's bugged. So even though I love the moveset on it, I would suggest having lifesteal because you don't want to keep spending resources on healing, and the little bit of lifesteal goes a long way when you're having these long fights with mobs that are many levels above your character level, especially at the start. Now, the other thing that is really important, and I am not wearing it right now because I did not have the level requirement for it, is getting a gold ring. Now, the trick with this is that, well, the problem with it is that it has a level 11 requirement, so you cannot be wearing it right off the bat, but it's good to have it in your inventory, so when you do reach level 11, you can use the golden band for another 10% increase in XP gain. Now, I could switch that for any of the rings. I would suggest that you keep your stone tusk ring and your jade ring because as you're starting out, you're going to be using a lot of your basic attacks and stamina recovery is really important. you could switch that for Band of Calmness and get a little bit more experience that way. Next thing to mention is that what are the affixes that you're trying to get on this leveling up set are general affixes. Things like damage taken decrease, healing increase, and stamina recovery increase are really, really important. Anything that gives you that is not tailor-made towards a certain weapon. Now, the only thing I have here is in the movement speed on shock buildup, and that's good for this particular setup that I have because I have an electric enchantment here. But if you don't, you could switch this for any general purpose affix that's just going to give you more vitality and you'll be good to go. The other thing to mention is that you should have food with you that gives you focus. The reason being is sometimes you get into a fight with the large monsters and you are really low on health, but if you had a little bit of focus to use a focus attack, you can just finish them off. You'll level up off of that attack and you'll be at full health. So I would recommend to have some sort of food that gives you focus on consumption. The easiest way to get this is fish skewer, fish salad, and angler's delight. Anything that's made with fish gives you focus, instant focus. So this is one suggestion that I would have for the kind of food you want to take with you. And lastly, use your bombs. Take bombs with you, and these are also going to be very helpful in the same scenario where you're just starting out and there's a large monster that you need to whittle down before you get into melee combat with them. You can use your bombs, and this is, I think, the only usefulness I can think of for bombs and flasks, and that's for the purpose of leveling up against characters that are way above your character level, especially when you don't have enough stamina to take more than one hit from them. And lastly, obviously, you can use your experience potions. The only one thing that I will mention with XP potions is that they only give you XP for 1 hour, but if right before the effect wears off, if you just log out of your realm and log back in, it will renew the effects of the potion. Hopefully no one is going to be mentioning this to the dev team so that they're not going to come down on it with the ban hammer, because it seems like they have a problem with people leveling up their characters. Now, believe it or not, I started this character about 20 minutes ago and she's already at level 15. I'm going to show you a route that I usually take. When I just start, I just go out of Sacrament. And right out the door, right at the gates, most likely you will find at least one mob. Now, hopefully, it's not going to be a Balactol that's going to call down another mob to mess with you, but usually if you just take this route, you should be fine. Oh. You have cleared them so they're not showing up anytime soon. But anyways, this is the route you take. From here, check this part and see if there's 1 or 2 mobs. If there's 2, don't bother with them. Next, you can go through the glades. And back here, there will always be... Oh, there's a bear. Come on, big boy. You get huge amounts of XP out of killing these mobs. And obviously, this is very unlucky. You're probably not gonna get a bear sitting there, but there's always a chance. Now, once you've leveled up, to, I said, about level 15 or 16, what you can do is you can take advantage of the plague areas. And right now I only have the trench, but I'd say past level 15, just go to plagued areas, and what you can do is you can just burn some. I wouldn't burn embers because embers will also increase the corruption level. What you want to increase is the plague level. So the only item that I know of that will actually bring up plague level without increasing the corruption level are sinews. So if you just burn I think it's 3 sinews per level. So if you burn 9 sinews, and then you'll also you'll boost the level of the area that you're in, and that will also give you extra XP on your runs. Hopefully this helps. This is a quick guide on how I level up my characters post the Crucible nerf. Hopefully you guys will find it helpful, and see you in the next video.